Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk about how we can come up with good startup ideas and how we can build innovative solutions on top of those ideas. So, every startup ideation process it involves two steps, right? Firstly, identifying a good problem, and then after we've identified that problem, how do we design a good product or a service in order to solve that problem? So, let's discuss these two things separately. How do we identify a problem? For that, firstly we must understand and specify which domain we want our problems to be in. So once we've identified that, we can talk to about 10 to 15 people in that domain and understand their problems and pain points that they're facing in their daily lives. Once we've understood the core part of their problems, we can list them down in the user value proposition canvas. So there we list down all the pain points and also the gains that we're proposing to the user. So how do we do that? We develop a kind of product or a service that can help the user to relieve their pain points, right? So this is one of the good tool that we can use to identify a problem. So once the problem has been identified, now we move towards how we can design a good product or a service to solve that problem. So one of the good ways provocation tool, right? We come out of the general way of thinking out of the box and designing solutions for the users. So one example would be how Tata Nano car had developed. They catered to 65 million users who were traveling on scooters, and they wanted to develop an affordable car for them. So this was a completely radical idea. Other would be understanding the market, and things like 2 by 2 market positioning canvas would help us understand where we want to lie and how other tools or competitors in the market are doing, and what unique value are we trying to propose to the users. That would help us understand what market are we trying to capture, right? So once those thought processes have been done, so there are always some assumptions that we always take forward whenever we design a product, and all of those assumptions might not always be true, right? So we should always list down all the hypotheses and perform test onto those hypotheses to check if all of our hypotheses are true or not. So one example would be how Buffer as a company did in their prototyping phase. They used to regularly take user feedbacks in the forms and then use incremental step by step developments in their product. And other thing is JTBD. So it's jobs to be done, and it was ideated by Clay Clemenston. So what he says is every product is meant to do jobs for us, and we hire those products, right? So one example would be a milkshake. So why would I buy a milkshake? It doesn't necessarily just do one job for me. It relieves my hunger. It makes it easy for me to travel and carry wherever I want to go. I can keep it in my car and easily travel with my right hand on the steering wheel and the left hand with the milkshake. So it makes does a lot of jobs for me parallelly, right? So we should understand all the jobs that are currently being done, and if there are already products out there in the market, we should also come up with good jobs that are not out there in current ongoing products and ideate on top of it. So one other example would be how iPhone is doing. It is doing incremental step by step ideation, and it brings new jobs. It brings new jobs that can be done by its products for its users. And once we've identified all of this, we should also come up with a way to make our model sustainable. How we can generate revenue out of it, what is the market size of our idea, and what is the cost involved in building that product. So business model is also one of the essential part of coming up with that startup idea. So once all of these things are done, lastly, I want to end this video by saying every innovation must follow three rules, right? It should either be user desirable, technically feasible, and commercially viable. So if it follows all the three rules, then only it can be said that it's a innovative idea. So just keep in mind when you start up with the idea, these three rules should be followed every time.